So last week we was talking about Ron's picture. We talked about a progression of a picture, but obviously we're looking at also using the new lens blur, which is the new panel on the right hand side that says early access. There's been no update since, so we can continue. The only updates, as you all noticed, there was a change to Photoshop beta version, and I noticed one or two of you have updated that one. But other than that, we're going to continue on this theme. But before I do, we was talking about conditions for masking. And obviously Brian wasn't here, so I'm going to just recap very quickly what we did from last week, Brian. So we have a picture here of Ron's picture that he sent in, a boat. And I'm just going to go back to the very beginning. And we had something like that. That's what we started off with. And what we talked about, Brian, was the fact that we like to work on our own images because I think that's the best way to learn. You can work on images supplied or found on the internet, but the problem is they tend to choose images that work perfect. So when they're teaching, they say, look, it works. And then you go back and try it on your own.
Gary,
it doesn't work. Yep.
Gary. Ron came up yesterday and went through it with me.
Excellent. That's okay.
Carries out himself.
Good.
So, thanks anyway.
Okay, well, we'll carry on.
He's a good teacher. I'm not saying more.
It's all his military experience, you see. It's life or death with Ron. Okay, so we got to this point here, and I was showing you the mass last week very quickly. We're talking about, we progressed. The first thing we did, we looked at the photograph and we said, is there something in this photograph? Is there a picture? Is there a story in here that we can use? And it's the first thing we look at and we say, yes, it is. It's got this elements in it. And the first thing we attempted to do was to crop it to see if we could strengthen the story, which we did. And we ended up cropping to a situation, something like that one. I'll just see if it comes through. Come on, update. I don't know why Lightroom decided not to update. There you go. And we decided we'd crop it something like that to make out the boat. And then we had a little go at lens blur. But one of the things I wanted to just go back to was that when we talk about doing masking, we had this situation where we have a mask. Here's our mask that we created. And we wanted the mask to work in a particular area. Now, we all use collections, is that correct? You have to shout them up, Margaret, and say, yeah, they're saying yes. So we have a collection. And a collection and these masks are very similar in the sense that they have a logical construction. Now, I always say to you people here, we've got different masks. And these masks are made up of elements. And these are the elements. It says color range and object. And on this one, we did luminance range and objects. And we have this word that everybody seems to look at and go, ooh, intersect. So what I'm going to show you here is just a simple way of understanding it. If we do a collection, we all know that if we create a collection, we end up with a logical, we're going to call this trial. And when we do a collection, is it gone? There it goes. A collection. I'm not going to do a collection. I'm going to do a smart collection. Sorry, my apologies. A smart collection. And we're going to call this trial. I'm in front of myself. Now, when we do a smart collection, we know that in our selections of collections on the left-hand side, we can have 2 stars. We can have 5 stars. We can have 5 stars and red. We all know that, don't we? So if you've got a selection of images that you've given 5 stars and colored it red, then it will go into what you call a smart collection. So what it's doing is following logic. And if you notice on the smart collection on the screen now, when we create a smart collection, we start off with something like this. So we might say we want the rating is greater, or we'll say equal to, so it's easy, is 5 stars. So anything that we create within Lightroom and we put 5 stars, the software automatically gets that image, creates a collection copy, and puts it in that smart collection called Trial. Now, we might say that we want the rating to be 5-star and. So we all know that if we follow the logic across to the right, we say and, which is the plus sign, is the label color is red. So now if we've got any 5-star images, so you're going along in your work and you give us something 5 stars and you make a red label on it, it automatically goes into that selection. Are we all okay on that? We've all used this, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
But can you see there is a logic to it? So we could also say, and the ISO or the camera is, and then you can put your camera in. I'm going to do one that it'll pull up. Size. Let's just go for a flag. And it's flagged. There we go. So now to put any photograph, any picture, any image that you've created into that smart collection, which it does automatically, it does it based upon this logic. And it's saying, if the rating is 5-star and the label color is red and it has been flagged, it will automatically go into that collection. Does that all make sense to you? Yeah, you okay with that? So you can see there's a logical flow to it. So when we come to do masks, and I'm going to cancel that one, when we come to do the masks and we talk about a sky, and we did this last week, we'll look at the boat, for example. I'm going to clear these off just to get rid of them. So we'll go again. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this one because we just did a play with it. And we'll delete that one. And we'll delete all the masks so we can start from fresh. So when we want to select something, for example, like this boat, and let's say we want to change the color of the blue on that boat to match the green that's in the background on the headland. Or you might say, I want it red because red stands out. How did we do it? Can you all remember? We created a mask. So the first thing we created a mask. And this time, instead of a subject, we use the tool called Object. Now, the nice thing about the Object tool, Brian, you've probably not used it because you missed it last week, is you get a brush. Can you see we get this brush? And we said the brush can be made bigger and smaller to cover the object. And you can have a feathered edge or you can have a solid edge. And we said a solid edge, all we do is hold down the Shift key and use the square bracket keys to make the brush bigger or small. The brush bigger or small. Let me just get rid of that one. Delete mask one. Sorry, I hadn't created anything. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cover up the boat. And it's going to look for an object. And it thinks that that is what I'm looking for, which I am. So straight away, we've managed to highlight the boat from the rest of the background. So whatever I do now will not work on anything else other than that, which is selected in the red. We also said that if you don't like the color of that ruby leaf, you can change it to any color you like. But you got to be careful that you don't get a situation where it's the same color as what you're trying to mask. So we tend to use this ruby leaf, what we used to use in a dark room, just to protect the image. In this case, it's opposite way around. So we've got our overlay on. So we want to work on the blue. So what we said is that just like the logic in the collections, we said we want this and this and this. And the conditions are we want an object and we want it only to work on the blue. Now, as Margaret said, you could add one to it. But what we want to do is we want to make a logical sequence. We want to say this and this, not object one, and then we'll add another mask on the blue part. We're going to say a combination. So we're going to now say, instead of adding, we're going to actually click on here and we're going to intersect it with a color. So we're saying, get the object and then choose a color on the object because that's an easy one. We're working on the color. And when you select the color range, you can come down and choose what colors you want to intersect with. And we tried to choose several points. If you want to add points, remember, you hold down the Shift key and click on the regions. Okay, and you can add up to 5 separate points. So now it's got a color range on there. And what it's doing, I'm just going to go on to point color. I'm just going to check there's not a point color on. So we've got a point color, and we're saying that we want to get this blue. Okay, so there it is. There's the blue that we're going to work on. And we could also say we only want to work on the shadows of the blue to make the blue parts dark. So what we're saying is, I don't want to change the color, but I want to choose the boat, and the blue parts and the shadows, I want to make them darker. So once again, on the color range, we can add an intersection. And this time it's going to be luminance, because we know that we're going to be working on how dark it is. You see? So anything on dark. Now then, when we come over now and come over here, as we turn it down, you'll see that it only turns the shadows down on the boat where it's blue, and we've chose the shadow area. So now you've got an incredible capability of making changes to any image in Lightroom without going into Photoshop, and make some significant alterations to the colors and the textures and all the things that go with all the masks. And you can also see on the top right hand corner where we chose this luminance range, we can actually increase that and say we want to turn all the boat down. And this top corner slider here is how much of the shadow range you want. You could say, actually, I only want to darken the highlights. So I can move this up and down. Okay. So this is the beautiful thing about the masks. And it's this word that people get upset with or not sure about, intersect. An intersect is just like what we say in the collections. Select the boat. I only want to work on the blue areas and also only on the shadows. So now you can do some incredible changes. Now, I actually listened to some people on one of the forums saying, well, it's all well and good, but I just get a brush and brush over it. Then so be it. But if you've got a complex area of different colors or different ranges of luminosity, then you have a situation where you can be very, very selective across any area that you can select. You can have all the image or part of the image and change just that. So what you use is the software to try and find the areas that you want to change. So I'm going to come out of this one. So that's what the intersect does. I'm going to come out. I'm going to get rid of this mask. We don't need it. And we're going to delete all masks. So that's what we sort of covered last week, Brian. Being able to isolate. Now, if you can all find the image you worked on last week, which is this boat, and did you go through this with Brian, Ron? Did you both do it, Ron and Brian?
It's already said. Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's good. So what we said is we decided that we look at blurring this picture. Now, the new blur technique, as you've seen, it creates a map. So what we did, if you remember, we did the apply button. So I'll wait till it refreshes. And we said we want to apply this lens blur. And we put a blur on the screen. And then we can choose how strong the blur is with the blur amount. You can make it really strong, or you can make it just a little bit subtle like that. Now I'm going to switch off bokeh because we're going to do that in a moment. And the little graph underneath is where that is at this present moment. And we said, remember, we've got this target tool. We can bring that on. We can draw a box over here. It will analyze it, and it will put the box on that colored graph to where it thinks the range of depth of field that you're trying to cover. And then you can actually make it smaller. Let it resample. There it goes. Or we can make the depth of field greater. And it's just like you turning the aperture up and down. You can have all of it, and there's no blur because we're choosing all the range. And then if I bring it back and we say I want to be in this range, Anything outside that box will get blurred. So that's what we covered last week. And of course, we also said if you've got objects in that you want to, that it's probably missed, you can actually click on the focus button and the brush tool comes up again. And you can make the brush smaller. And if you hold the shift key down, you can make the brush harder or softer. And you can paint areas back into focus. And if you remember, like we did the boat at the back, if I paint on this boat at the back, I've now put the boat back in focus. I wouldn't obviously do that because it looks wrong. But you can see, and if I say, well, I want to blur that bit because it's come in, I just paint back over it using the blur tool. So we can add and subtract blur. Is everybody okay so far?
Yeah.
You all right? Are you okay there, Judy?
Yeah, I think so.
Good, good. Well, we're going to do, we'll do some on these images. So, okay, so we've got a picture. Now, don't forget what we said also on the lens correction. We enabled the profile correction because when we did, that stick on the right-hand side disappeared and we lost the pincushion effect of a wide-angle lens. And it should disappear in a minute. Come on. Did we crop it? Yes, we did crop it. So, there you go. It's gone. It's caught up now. So we lost that stick on the right-hand side. So,
Gary,
yes?
Gary, there is about 20, 30 seconds time lag on it. So you're going on to a second thing before we see the first.
Okay, so what you'll have to shout up, Margaret, is okay every now and then. When I say okay, say okay. I can see there is a delay on. I think it's the internet connection in Elston. It's pretty slow, isn't it? As we know. Okay, so we are going to work more on this picture of Ron's because we want to use more of the masking and the colours and different things. But what I want to do is to go to our other image because we're going to look at the other part of this lens blur. So I'm going to come down on here and I'm going to find your lot. Oh, it's there, desktop, masking class. And I sent you all this picture. So it'll be coming through. It should say open on it. And you all remember seeing that? It's a light with some the word in the background saying open. So you have to let me know, Margaret, when they all got that loaded into the develop module.
Yeah, we did that last week.
Yeah, so you know where it is, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now notice this. I don't know whether you've got a delay yet, but for some reason, Lightroom has got quite a long delay sometimes when it's doing this analyzing the lens blur. So if I go too quick, just say. So when they've all got that up and ready, let me know, Margaret, and we'll proceed.
Everyone got it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, everybody's got it. Okay. So what we're looking to do, if you look at my screen when I'm going to do it, that is the picture that we have available to us. And the depth of field is pretty good. I don't know what the range, what it was taken at, but I nicked this picture because I thought it was a good example. What we want to do is to create an image where the light is in focus, the background is out of focus, but what we want to do is to play with the bokeh or bokeh, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Either way, I'm happy. And we'll explain what we're going to do. So the first thing you all want to do is you can use the target tool if you wish, which is the target on the right, and just click anywhere on the light and draw a box on it. And it should apply a lens blur if you've got the apply selected. And I'm going to, move that to the bottom end. And you'll see that on the focal range, the blur is a little white blip at the front. You can just see that. I'm just making it a bit smaller.
I missed what you did there, Gary.
So what I did, I'm saying to choose the target if you wish, you can use the target tool. So you get the target tool out of the panel and you can draw a box over the area that you want to work on. So it's done that. Now what it's doing is picking the
objects to get your target tool. Is that
yeah, so you can use the target tool. The only problem I've found is if there's a dark background, it doesn't always select the object where you expect. So if you look in the focal range, there is a little blip in yellow right at the low end where it said adjust the range depth of that are in focus. And then it goes to magenta up to purple and to black. Now you'll see when I did the target, it chose the background over the foreground, which I don't really want. So I'm going to slide that box down until it covers the light part, this bit on the left. Let me just get a annotate tool and I can explain. It's probably easier. If it goes too fast, let me know if it's not refreshing quick enough for you.
Is that what he's done?
On lens blur. Wait, he did a target over that one.
Did he?
Yep. So what I did, Margaret, I'm saying that you can use that tool there.
What tool? I can't see your screen, Gary.
You can't see my screen.
What
Well,
tool is
Look at the
it?
one look at the big one.
I don't know what we're in. What are we actually in? What
We're in,
program?
we're in Lightroom in Develop.
Develop, yes.
Yeah, but
And-
The mask.
you're not doing a mask.
Ah.
No, we're in Lens Blur.
Won't your lens blur?
Oh,
So
You've got it.
apply.
you've
It
you
didn't
forgot
go-
to tell us, Gary, we have to apply it before it makes it live.
Yeah, you have to do the apply. Yeah, we did say switch on the apply. If you want to do it, you got to put the apply on, which is obviously that box there.
Just this bit here.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you look at the range, what I'm saying is that just here at the bottom is where the light is. And this bit at the top end
Right,
is
screen.
the background, and that's the light.
Not screen. Command.
Then tab, and that should give you all the.
Yeah.
In tab. Next one up. That's it.
No.
There you go.
You got it? And this is the background.
Don't know what
Oh, I've lost me connection again. Let me just get this connected up.
There's only three this open.
It's still trying to open up, I think.
About that.
Ryan's is on a lag at the moment, Gary.
I beg pardon?
Ryan's is on a lag at the moment.
Don't worry.
Every time I go in.
That's got the wheel of death on it.
Oh dear.
If I need it.
You'll have to give it a minute till it catch up. Get the crank handle out. Yeah.
Has that come up now, Morgan? Did it say light and then background?
Light and background, where?
On his
big
big screen.
I can't see the screen, so yes.
Okay. So when everybody's got that bit, and I'll explain all the controls on the new lens booker.
No, it's been on from the beginning. I haven't been able to get rid of it.
Have you got Lightroom up?
No, I've got WhatsApp open, but it won't close. Just.
What is it stuck on, Brian? In WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, yeah.
Go to the top left corner where the Apple symbol is.
What's the click?
Click on the Apple symbol. Then there's a thing called Force Quit. Click on that and choose WhatsApp and force quit it. It'll get out of the way.
Click on WhatsApp. What's quick? Yes.
Set.
Has that done it?
Sorry, guys, I just want to get into Lightroom.
Is it already opened? Or did you close up?
It should open
No,
up
it's
straight away.
not open. Did you click on it, Brian?
No.
No.
Yes, unless you closed it down for some reason.
Is it opening up now?
Lightroom is now opening.
Okay.
Slow.
What I might have to do, Brian, is log on to you and I'll have a look at your computer setup, see if there's anything a bit full or want changing.
Working.
Better off to do it at home.
Yeah. Yeah, you will, because it's a lot easier. It's quicker on the internet as well than the.
We want a lens blur, which is further down, I think.
But he hasn't done this one.
So let me know when you've caught up and everybody's back. Are you okay, Judy, there?
Yeah, I'm just watching you.
Okay. You got it? You managed to open it up all right?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, share your screen then. I'll do it while we're waiting for Brian. Oh, in a minute.
Share screen.
Okay, share your screen.
Thanks, Blue. You need to reply it. That's the only thing. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't reply, it won't work. So
Yeah, you got to click on apply.
Gotta wait for that.
Yeah, it won't do anything till it.
If you're not sure, Judy, go to the dot where it says Zoom and click on there. Zoom becomes active, and then you can share screen from there.
Thank you.
It's not doing anything yet. But,
Yeah.
it was-
I don't know where to find Zoom.
Go to your dock at the bottom, bump the dock, and you should see a blue square that says zoom.us. You can click on that. You found it?
No.
Okay. You can, don't forget, you can hold your, hold down the command key next to the
Yeah.
space bar and tap the tab key until you see the zoom.
Oh, sorry.
Then you'll come back to Zoom. Have you got it that way?
Yeah, click on Zoom, huh?
Yeah. And then you can share your screen. So you should have a picture of all our faces.
Yeah.
And then underneath there, it should say share screen.
Do I need to click on tab again?
Mark one, if you slide.
No,
that
just
up.
on the share screen button underneath the images.
There isn't one.
What is it? What can you see on the screen?
I see all the faces and the names.
Yeah.
That's it.
Are they in rows and columns? Yeah.
In row.
Just check at the very bottom underneath. Have you got your mute and stop video? Can you see that?
No.
Bottom left corner.
Oh, yes. Mute. Stop video. Yeah.
Right. So you go across the bottom of there, you should say, should be able to see share screen. It might be that your the screen you're trying to, the Zoom screen, the title's across the bottom. You may have the actual Zoom window small and you can't see the share screen. So if you go to the top left corner, the green dot, can you see that? Make Zoom take all over your picture, over your screen.
Oh, yeah. Post-production class has come up now.
Yep. And can you see share screen now at the bottom?
No.
So have you've got the word mute and stop video, but have you got security, participants, chat?
No.
You've not got any of that.
No. A row of, of the people in the class. That's all.
You've lost it. So do your command and tab again until you get Zoom back up. Go across until you see Zoom.
Yeah. Click on, command and
Keep
tab.
hitting the tab until it goes across to Zoom and then let go when it's on Zoom.
Oh, let go, yeah.
Now can you see share screen?
No. I'll do
Okay.
it again. And tab. And click on Zoom.
Yeah, click on the word Zoom and then all the faces should come up.
Yeah.
And then if you can't find that tab at the bottom, hold down the shift key, the command key, and then S for sugar, and it should share your screen.
Command, tab, and S.
Shift, command, and S, yes. Shift key and the command key, and then hit the S key, and it should share your screen.
Okay, so
I go to the,
that's the background.
yeah.
So you move it over.
Nothing?
Right part, I think.
Got a row of
That does
Zoom, Safari, PS, Lightroom. Got that, but
Yeah, but but that's your dock at the bottom. You're looking for the one that says share screen. So, have you got all the faces on the screen?
The bottom, yeah.
At the bottom. So, in the top right-hand corner there, where it says sign in, and there's a time. Can you see that?
Same thing. You can't do a different one.
And there's a word that says view.
Can make it smaller.
So in the top area, or right at the top of the screen in the Zoom meeting, it should say sign in, and then there's a meeting duration, and then it says view, and you can change the view,
If you go to this,
the gallery.
there,
Well, I've got Zoom.
and go to
and
the,
then-
it's the same settings.
but nothing else. I've got little
Judy.
pictures, but that's it.
Well,
Can't
yeah,
you-
Judy, what we'll do, we'll have to carry on with the class, and then when we have a cup of tea, get your
Yeah.
phone ready, and get your phone working on Zoom as well, and then you can show me your screen, and I can talk you through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's go back to class then. So I'm going to deal with that with Judy. Judy's going to watch along, and then I'll catch her up at tea break time. So shout me when you're getting ready for tea time. Okay.
Yeah, there. Oh, that's weird.
Okay, so we're back to my screen. Yes, can you all see that? Tell me when it's refreshed.
Yeah.
All refreshed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're saying is on the range, I'm going to get my annotate back up because I switched it up when I talked to Judy. We said that down this bottom end here, tell me when you see the red circle come up on the right-hand panel under lens blur.
Yeah.
That little dot there, that little cream dot, is this light. And this is the purple area here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And we can prove that because if we grab the handle on the little white box and drag it across just to cover the little white part at the beginning of the focal range, you'll see that the background goes out of focus. Is that happening?
Yeah.
You okay on that, Brian?
Let's have a look. This is where
You just
kind of
grab
go
the
box.
Grab that
box.
little handle, yeah. There's little handles, like little ears sticking out.
Goes that way when in.
No. Get a hold of the one at the end and make it a little bit smaller. Pull it now. Then not too much. And then and then just go into the middle of the box and you can drag it then.
Yep.
That's it.
So you should end up seeing the word open all blurred now.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. Are you all okay with that? You okay, Tony?
You know what?
Have you got clicked on the blur? Force and the blur.
You okay with that, Brian? Do you want me to share your screen, Brian?
Yes, you have got.
I'll work with Brian's screen because he's obviously catch up. Brian, share your screen and then I'll help you. No worries, share your screen.
All right.
Have you done it? Are you okay? Is she okay, Margaret? Your class teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my screen again then. I thought you were struggling.
I don't
So
know.
what we've got at the top, we can now turn the blur amount down if you want, or turn it right up. I'm going to put it up to 100%, and for one reason, so that you can see the effect of this bokeh. Okay. So just underneath where it says 100, I'm just going to bring my annotate tool back up.
100. Where does it say?
Just here on the right-hand side there, Margaret.
Oh, it says 100% there.
Yeah. So you can turn that up and down accordingly. Now, just below there is a little triangle. Can you see pointing to the left?
Yeah.
That is a disclosure triangle. So if we all click on that, you will get now a lens blur bokeh tool come up.
Mm.
Can you all see that?
No, that's that one. Yeah. Yeah, click on that. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got this selection of tools. And there are 5 in total. Which one of those would you say represents your lens? If you was to look down the lens when the aperture was closed, which one would you think would be your camera lens?
What?
So when you look at, so if this is your camera lens here, when
Where?
you close the aperture down, it makes the aperture small. Is that correct?
Yeah.
These little rings come in, they're like blades until you get a very small dot in the middle. And these blades overlap each other like this. And we did this on the Humber Bridge. And when you do it on some lenses, you get little sparkly lights like that.
Oh, yes, yeah.
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 And in some cases, you will get a shape which has got square edges, and they represent these blades here. So those blades, as they call them leaves or blades, and as they come in to make the aperture smaller, they're not perfectly circular. Some lenses are, some are really good. So you'll find that the blades in your lens look like something like this, like a leaf like that. And as they close, they try and create a perfect circle. And you get some lovely effects. And we often say we take pictures of like a starburst on the bridge. I remember Humber Bridge, a lot of you did the Humber Bridge one. And we got these little sparkly bits sticking off the side like a starburst. And you could buy filters at one time, you still can, called starburst filters, which emphasize those leaf patterns, but it's generally etched onto a piece of plastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this bokeh effect. Now, as I turn, let me just get my selection tool. As I turn the blur up and down, obviously it disappears. And beneath it, you can choose different styles of bokeh. Now, underneath there is a word that says boost. You'll see that boost go up and down. As you boost it, it makes it stronger or less. I'm going to turn it right up purely so you can physically see the change. And now you've got the first one, and the first one we've selected there supposedly is a modern, oh, it comes up, modern circular lens. So the bokeh is just a round dot, and those that did the Christmas tree pictures in Newark, we blurred the image, so all the baubles, instead of seeing the elements of the lens, all you got was a round blob of colour. Can you remember? And what we're doing, we were emphasizing any highlight with the bokeh effect. We put it out of focus, like we've just put the open sign out of focus. And what we're doing is we're using the characteristics of the lens to create a lovely and pleasant background. Now, the next one along, if you want to click on that second one now, you might not see a big change. So we might have to back the boost back a little bit, but it does take a while for it to make a change. And this one is called the bubble effect. And what it does is where the outer edges meet, and you can probably, I'm going to just zoom in so you can see it on this one. Come on, zoom in. Can you see it's put like a halo around it? So that is the normal one. And then when I do the bubble effect, watch this bit in the middle. Can you see it puts like a halo around it? And it's called the bubble effect. And what it does, it's very similar to like we looked at the chromatic aberration last week, where it's still there, but it creates a line. And this is what this is. It's creating like an emphasized line around the highlight. And it's called the bubble effect. Can I suggest, so you can see this working, do what I've done, go into at least 400% and zoom in on this area here. Let me draw it on the screen because you might be able to see it better. Zoom into this area here. Do it in red, it's a bit easier to see. Try and zoom into this area here, okay? And to change the zoom rating, it's in the top left-hand corner or the right-hand corner of the left panel. And I've set mine to 400%. So it zooms in really close. And you can click on there and select whatever you want. You can go 800% if you wish, but I've done 400. And then when you click on it, you can see it zooms in. And you can move this around to see the effect.
Grab your picture and move it so you can see that top bit, the one.
Yep.
You just grab your picture.
We got to go back as well.
Hold that down, yeah, it's best.
Is everybody else okay with that? Can you see this effect, the bubble effect? If you click back on the first one, you'll see it disappear. Click back on the second one, you'll see that bubble effect come on. So your boost and your blur amount want to be on 100%. 400% zooming in so you can see it, and then you're going to click on all these different effects. Is anybody struggling with that so far? You all okay?
Click on your different effects, see what they do.
So that one is called the bubble effect. So this is the standard one, just round, soft, and the bubble effect gets that little ring light around it, okay? The next one is a vintage camera. Now you can't see it so well on here. I'm going to back off the boost a bit so I don't boost it. Oh, you can. You need the boost up. I'll just back it
Dot at the top.
There you go. I've just backed it off a little bit. But what it tends to do, it creates a pentagon effect because it's 5 blades. An old vintage camera had 5 blades in. And the edges suddenly have got defined lines. You see that? So that's another effect. The next effect, the fourth one along, is called the donut. Has anybody got a mirror lens? Tony has. A mirror lens is a compressed telephoto lens using mirrors to bounce the image backwards and forwards in a very short tube. And they used to be set at f8. They were very compact, very good, but you used to get this donut effect. Some people like it, some people don't. It's not the best emphasis on this, to be honest. I'm just going to back that off to see if I can see it a bit more. But what it used to do, certainly in catch lights in women's eyes, it used to create like little polo mints. It's a better way. It looks like a polo mint. So it's got a hole in the middle, and the outer part, the rim, is out of focus. So that's what that one does. The last one is cat's eye. And you can get this often in anamorphic lenses. Does anybody know what an anamorphic lens is? No? Anamorphic lenses are not circular. The actual elements in the lens are not circular. They're actually in a slit. And they use a lot of anamorphic lenses in filming because for one reason, a really good reason. One, it's very effective. It looks a great effect, like the bokeh effect in here. If you watch any movie and you see like a line, a glowing line through any highlights through your screen, it's a great effect, and that's an anamorphic lens. But the great thing about anamorphic lens is that if I was, can you remember we did the macro work, Roger?
Yeah.
And you focus in close, and we did focus stacking. And we took a picture, moved it forward, focus, take another picture, another picture, another picture. We zoomed in. But the problem is, as you zoom, the focal range moves too. And if you do that on when you were taking a normal photograph, and you was to actually zoom in, you would have to refocus when you got to the end of the zoom. Now, with an anamorphic lenses, when you focus and you zoom in and out, that focal range does not change. They're a bit more expensive, but you get, so when people are videoing an interview and they zoom in, they can't keep changing things around. So what they do is, as they zoom, the focus stays all the way through. You don't have to refocus. So, and the cat's eye often you get on those sort of lenses. So that is all the different range. Now, what you've got at the moment, if you go back to your normal fit, we have got at the moment, we are blurring the light in front. Is that correct? And I've got the cat's eye. Look at the cat's eye now on the top part. Here, it looks like a cat's eye. It's a slit. As opposed to this one, which is more round when it catches up. Come on, there you go. Can you see the difference? I've circled. That's the normal one. And look at the cat's eye. Ready? The cat's eye change.
In the picture. No, in the picture.
Come on. Can you see the difference? And you see that, Roger, as it come through?
And it zoomed back. You'll have to go on to fit.
If you click on the picture, it should do the last two settings, fit and 400%. So as you click on the image, it will zoom, it will go between the last two settings, fit and 400. So if I click on now, Margaret, it'll go to 400%. If I click again, it'll go back to fit. And I've circled the top yellow light, and I put a red circle around it. And if I go to the very first selection in the bokeh range, a round one, look at the difference. That's round, and that's cat's eye. Round and cat's eye. The one thing that surprised me a lot is that this effect actually affects the composition of the picture slightly. It changes the focus. Can you see?
Yeah.
So we've got that up there, which is fine. But we said, can you remember we talked about the focus range? Now look at the top of the lamp, and these things you're going to look out for when you're doing these. This area here is blurred. Can you see it? Because it thinks it's part of the background.
Mm.
So this is where we have got this focus tool, which is this one here, available to us. You all see that?
Yeah.
So what we want to do now is we're going to get our focus tool and click on the word focus. I'm going to clear the drawings for you. Clear all drawings. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the word focus. Now we've got this brush. And if you go into the bottom right corner, you can see the brush. And remember, how do we make it smaller and bigger? Square bracket key. And how do you make it harder and softer? That's it. So I'm going to make it a hardish brush. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because I want it to fit literally on that grey part there. And also, we need to select auto mask.
Do that.
Are you okay with that, Margaret? So I've clicked on the focus.
Yes.
I've selected auto mask.
Auto mask. Where's that?
Underneath all where the sliders are, it says amount, size, feather,
Yes.
flow.
Yeah.
I have got my flow rate right up, and I've got my amount set to full. Make sure that amount says 100 and flow says 100. Yeah. Has everybody got that? Are you okay with that, Tony?
Got that? Yeah.
Everybody okay? Yeah. I think everybody's okay.
Okay.
And now I'm going to go and I'm going to paint slowly over that piece of metal. So anywhere where it's grey now, I'm trying to put the focus back in. Now it'll work okay on the left-hand side, but when it gets to the light, you've got to be very, very careful. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to recreate. There we go. And if you make a mistake, of course, you can go to the blur tool exactly the same and go back and just paint over it if you want to put it back in. Okay. And just so you know, can you see my screen at the moment? I'm going to make my brush a lot bigger. Can you see my round brush? Yeah, can you all see it?
Yeah.
That is in focus mode at the moment because I've got focus highlighted on the right-hand panel. Is that correct? Can you all see that? It's illuminated, it says focus, and it's lit up around the back of it. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Brian? If I hold down the Option or Alt key, although it doesn't say it's in blur mode on the panel on the right, my tool has now become a blur tool. So it toggles between focus with the plus in the middle, minus becomes the blur tool. So if I make my brush a lot smaller again, and I'm going to purposely make a mistake here. There you go. I've purposely made a mistake. Oh, I've painted over one of the lights. I hold down the Alt key and I paint it back in. So when you're working on it, you don't have to keep going over to the right-hand side and keep changing it. You can keep just nibbling at it, holding the Alt key. And if you go too far, paint it back in.
To mean option.
Option Alt, yeah, sorry, Option. I have to say Alt because I'm used to working with Norman with the windows as well. So you can actually paint. So I'll have a go at painting that in. If you make a mistake, just paint the blur back on again. But remember one thing. When you're working in this lens blur, the actual process is quite slow because it has to resample. So as you're painting, don't get frustrated thinking, oh, it's not working. Just let go, let it resample, then move on again. If you try and do it like you would a normal brush, you might find that you'll get frustrated with it. So you've got to be a little bit patient, paint where you think, and then let it catch up. There you go, it's just done it. And if there's any problem with it, turn the blur down a bit in the right-hand panel if it gets a little bit too messy. And there you go. So now I've painted that stand back in. And if you don't like it, obviously you can paint it back out again. And remember that those little ears on that thing, you can make that as shallow as you wish. So if I don't like what you've just done, go back to blur and blur it all out again. There you go. I'm going to blur it all back out so it's all blurred. And I'm just going to have the front of the light on and nothing else. But it's one of those things that let me just turn that back off, Command Z, but I'll reset it. It's one of those things you've got to practice with and play with. But you've got to think, it's got to keep resampling. And it's not like the brush tool is normal where you draw a line, it does it. It has to resample and try again. So that's what they actually do. I'm going to just put that back on. I'm going to move that open a bit more. And I'm going to visualize the depth. And you'll see if you put the visual map on where you've been, look at the mess I've made of that. Dog's dinner.
Well,
Are you okay with that? Do you want me to share screen, Brian? Are you okay?
no, that's in focus. You've done it.
While you're there, Ron, just underneath where where the apply is, if you go down, keep going underneath the graph that tells you where the depth of field is. There's a button that says visualize depth. Can you see that? Switch that on and you'll see where you've been painting because it will be quite obvious. As you can see, mine's a bit of a dog's dinner.
Brian's done it. He just didn't realise he'd done it.
Oh yeah, let's say it's one of those things. It's have a go and see how you get on with it.
Yeah, you've done it, Brian.
Yep, Brian, you've done it. Well done. Now go and make everybody a cup of tea.
Cup of tea time.
Roger's already there.
So what we'll do next is we're going to have a go at doing one ourselves together, and I'm going to just show you one pitfall. We talked about the portraits. This is the portraits we've got here, and we're going to have a go at blurring the people on there, and then we're going to have a go at the pier, okay? And then we're going to go back to Ron's photograph, and we're going to start to make Ron's photograph look incredible, okay?
All right.
So here's our picture of the girls. I go to the lens blur, which is on that side. I'm going to get my annotate tool open and get a drawing. So I'm going to come here. First thing I'm going to do is apply. So I'm going to apply the blur. And if I drag this out completely as if it's not worked, so that's what it starts with, and I grab the, oops, sorry, and I go for the face tool here, click on the face tool, come on. There you go. For some bizarre reason, I'm going to go to the face tool. Now, I don't know what's gone off with this. Suddenly something, I've got something wrong with my mouse. There you go. I can locate a face on the image, and by opening or moving this, we can tell it whereabouts to focus. Now I'm focusing now with the man right at the back corner. Just get a pen. Oh, there's something really gone crazy with Zoom, sorry.
Hmm.
It won't let me do things. So at the moment, I'm on this one at the back. I'm going to get a bit bigger for, there you go. So I'm on the back one at the moment. If I come to my little box that it's created, I can move that, and I'm going to move it to the girl in the middle. So now he's going to add a focus. Get a colour. Get a green one so we can see green. Now I've focused on just this girl here. And the range is from there to there, which is literally the depth of field from there to there. So that box represents that box just there. Does that make sense, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can be very, very selective. But watch out for when you get multiple faces, because it will try and look at probably the wrong face. But you can move that box. You can make it, you could say I want all the girls in focus, which really is close because the depth of field is quite shallow there. But you can see I can be very, very, very tight. See, now I've really focused on her in the middle, and the girls are struggling. But notice that the girl on the left now, and bear in mind it's in early stages of this software, that this girl has come back into focus. That girl is not in focus. That girl is out of focus. But the girl in the middle, when I get a different colour, she's in, oh, a different colour, my apologies. She's in focus, but she's come back in focus. So the software has got a few little errors in. So to get around that, what you could do, you could say, well, actually, I don't like that. I want her in focus. So we could get our blur tool, go to blur, and we could blur her out even more. There you go. I mean, I'm going too much, but you can see you can blur them out. I would never do it that amount. When using the blur tool, I've found that the best thing to do is to turn the flow right down. If you make a mistake, by the way, and you want to get out of it, how do you reset the blur? Any idea? Okay, no worry. So what you, just to show you, here we go. I'm going to get the drawing tool. Notice up here, it says apply. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
If I hold down the Alt key,
Option.
option, we get my thing here. It says reset lens blur when I hold the option key down. You see it's gone from apply to reset lens blur. Can you see that?
Yeah.
If I click now, hold that down and click, it will reset it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to reapply it. Okay? That way you don't go down to the bottom here and do a reset here, because they'll reset everything in every panel you've done. That's all, these will all reset. So that is the last resort down there. Oh, don't use it. So hold down the Alt key and reset just the panel you're working in, not everything. Okay, you all happy with that? Your turn then. Let's have a go at one picture before we go back to Ron's picture. So we're looking for this one. Okay, you've all found that one? So Margaret, you're in charge of class. Let me know when they've all found that for me, please.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Come on, you'll lose your credits. So first thing we're going to do to help us, let's go to the basic panel and hit auto, just to give it a bit of a starting point. And when they've all done that?
Yeah. Everybody done? Yes.
Yep. Are you okay with that, Judy? We're on the pier now. Find it, click on it.
Do I click the pictures at the bottom to
Yep.
get one?
Yep, just click it.
Yeah.
So when you've got the pier, and then what we did, Judy, while you was out of the room, we went to the first panel, basic, and clicked on auto, just to brighten it. Let it do it automatically, brighten it up.
Already done. So.
Right.
Is
Is that
Brian,
all right?
is Brian okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Basic. Click on basic.
Yeah, click on basic, and then where underneath there it says auto, black and white, and HDR, click on auto. And it should brighten up the picture for you. Okay.
No, it's not working. I don't think I've got, I think I've still got your screen.
No, you should be on yours now. Should be sharing. Everybody, can everybody see my screen? Yeah. You can see my screen, Margaret, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Judy's coming soon.
what we're going to do now is go down to lens blur, and we're going to click on apply and let it analyze the.
Harry, if Judy can't see it, she's still on your screen. She's not on her own.
One moment then. Let's just get this and I'll go to Judy. In fact, what I'll do then, Judy, let's share your screen, Judy, then I'll work with you.
So I click on share.
Yes, please. So, right, open up Lightroom. Bump the screen at the bottom, open up Lightroom. Click on Lightroom. That's it. There you go. So now click on the third picture along on the bottom on the film strip. Number 3. Yeah. And then go to develop, which you're in. Now scroll up on the right-hand panel till you find basic. Yeah, scroll up.
Right,
Click on basic. Yeah, click on basic. And click auto. Yeah. Now scroll back down to lens blur. Keep going down. Click on lens blur. Yeah. Click on that one again. And apply. Left, down, on that panel. That's it. And I'm going to work with you. So I'm going to request control with you. So that's analyzing now, and it should put a blur on there. Now, Judy's has come up, and you've probably all got the same sort of picture. You should have this box now showing you the depth. If you click on visualize depth, that's a good one to do.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I've lost my mouse. It's just really annoying. There we go. There you go, visualize depth. So you can see that it thinks that this and this are in the same focal plane, but that and that should be. So it's fooling itself. Can you see that?
It's completely different. I hit auto, but it's completely different to that
Is
one.
it? Ooh. It might be that the obviously your visualized map should still be the same.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying to you is it gets fooled because we all know, we said that last week, the distance between the water and the platform is only about 10 inches, if that. So if this bit's in focus here, then the water should be in focus in here. And this water should be in focus here. And this bit here should be in focus with that. So it's working it out, but it's not done a bad job. So you've got to remember that it's only as good because it's early access. So bear that in mind when we come to do this. And notice that this blue range extends all the way back to here and all the way back here, where really the depth of field falls away as it goes further into the picture. And the reason being is it's being fooled by the fact that it thinks that this and this is the sky, because it's a reflection from here and here. Can you all make sense to you all? So when you come to do a picture like this, and if you use one in a competition, make sure that the depth of field makes sense. So Judy, will you turn off, well, everybody, turn off visual depth again, visualize depth. So you can see that it's not too bad. Now, which part of the picture would you like to be in focus? Will you just have the end of the pier? So what you need to do is come over to your window that it's drawn on the focal range and make it a bit smaller. So on each end, you'll see a little tab, like a pair of ears. That's it, down a bit more, Judy. Go on the very, there you go. Now you see you've got some little ears. Can you see them? Bring them in a bit closer. That's it, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. A bit more. That's it. Okay, and stop there. Now grab the middle of that box, a little dot in the middle. Can you see it? That little black dot. Click and drag it to the right. And what you're going to do, you're going to move the focus up the pier. Till you find the bit that you want in focus.
Yeah.
It might be there if that's where you want it. There. So can you
Okay.
see you moved it? I think it's a little bit more to the right, just a fraction more. It's where that purple blob is.
Okay, there.
Yeah, about there. And you can bring the ears in a bit more, make it even more shallow. So bring the ears in a bit more on that selection you've just done.
Like this way.
Yeah, that's it. Drag it into the right. Drag it to the right.
Right.
Right, yeah. Now drag the other one to the other end and drag that in a bit. Now you're being really selective. Okay. Now you can see that where you've just selected now, I'll just get my drawing tool. Oh, my mouse is gone. My Wacom tablet's decided not to function. So it's working as a mouse, but it's got no controls on it. So I'm saying now that that range you've done there is around about here. So you can move that if you wish further to the right. So it's a case of you finding where you want the focal point.
Mm.
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go.
Do it.
And if you want just the foreground in, you can now drag that box all the way to the left. No, the whole box, not just the dot in the middle.
This.
Drag it to the left, and then you'll see it come closer and closer. It comes down the pier. You might say there might be a cat on there, or there might be a leaf that you want to focus on. So keep coming back a bit more. You see the focus range is coming all the way till it covers that yellow area. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going a bit more. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop there. And drag that left-hand ear tab to the left so it goes right to the beginning. So now we're saying everything from the front to the next point of that ear is out of focus. Okay. I don't think that's too bad at all. So that's how the focal length range works, this new lens blur. If you wanted to, I'm going to just take over Judy's screen. I can get my focal point window. Oh, there's something really odd happening in the internet. Okay, I'm going to draw a box around the pier. And if I draw a box, look, it's automatically found it for me. Can you see that? So I got the little target tool, and I might say I want to focus just on this leaf. Can you see, everybody? I'm going to focus just on a leaf. Teresa Martin. Sorry. I've just made a box around that leaf. Look at the front. I'll let go now. What's the visualization depth map? It changes. So it's telling you whereabouts in that range it is. If I want to focus just on the end of the pier, I draw a box around the end of the pier. It will analyze it, and it will refocus.
Huh.
So it's very helpful. If you're not sure where to do it, just draw a little box. Go to that. And of course, we did it with a face. Get that there. You might say, I want to draw it on these leaves in the top left corner. Let it visualize. Bang, it's in focus. Yeah. Now, notice one thing. When I did the leaves, it picked the sky up as well. So it did the sky as well. So if I just want this leaf in the middle, I'm going to focus just on the leaf in the middle. Bang, it's found it. Okay. So is everybody happy with the visual, this new lens blur? It's very good. Yeah. I think it's a very good piece of kit. Right. Okay. Let's now go to Ron's picture then. Let's go back to Ron's picture. And I'm going to close off. Oh, I'll leave lens blur on because we can apply it, didn't we?
We're going back to the original.
Yeah, go back. Wait, well, I think I'm trying to get Judy missed out, I think. So I'm just going to get to a point where we were last week, I think. There we go. And Judy didn't do a crop, so I'm going to bring the crop in. So I think some of you, Brian's obviously, I don't know whether Brian's done this with Ron, but we did. Yeah, we did something like that, didn't we? So the boat was on the 3rd. Has everybody got a grey background like Judy has, or they got something else?
No, I've got grey. I've got a dark grey.
Yeah, if you want a dark grey, which I feel is better, you right-click anywhere on the background and change it to dark grey or darker grey. because you'll find that the light around it can be quite difficult. You can have black if you wish, whatever suits you. But I feel darker grey works really good. It doesn't interfere with you, and it looks like a panel anyway. So
I've actually got black.
you've got black, have you? If you want to change it, Brian, all you do is hover your mouse over the black part of the
He's done
screen.
it.
Oh, he's done it, has it? Oh, that's okay. Okay, so we decided that we like this. We've cropped it down. We can see there's definitely a picture in this. What would be your next step, Ron?
It's not the original then, is it?
You can do an auto. We've done a bit of an auto. So we discussed about the sky, didn't we? Yeah. And we just said, do we want more of the sky in? So your picture, do you want more sky in it, Ron?
Sky, as you said last week, got to change altogether.
So did we bring it a bit higher, something like that?
You want to crop it now?
We
like
put the
it's-
horizon on with thirds.
About there, yeah, about like that, yeah. So then, if we wanted to change this picture, we said there's several elements to it. There is the brown area, which is all the mud. We've got the green marshy area, the grass and the scrubland and the reeds on the left, and we've got the sky. So we know we've got three elements in there. Now, what it helps us because we have colours. So if we wanted to do something with the sky, we decided we was going to use a mask, didn't we? So we clicked on the mask tool. And I'm going to get rid of this mask, Judy. Delete it. Because we've just been doing that. Delete mask. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the sky. So if you all want to do a select sky, if you've got any open, let's close them and start them again. Let's do a sky because Brian wasn't here. So click on the add new mask, Judy, sky, middle of one of the three boxes.
Crop it first.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, please.
One.
So it should select the sky for you now, which it has done.
Mhm.
Top
Now,
of it.
right, Roger said we want to put a graduated filter on there, didn't we?
Thing.
Yeah. So what we can do is we can intersect it with, and we set a color range, did we not?
Mm-hmm.
So let's select a color range. So click on that, Judy. And I would switch off your filter at the moment where it says show overlay. Otherwise, you'll see a pink sky and you can't see what you're doing. So click on show overlay, switch that off. That's it. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to select the blue in the sky, Judy. Now, it's a bit of a dusky sort of sky. So you're going to try and find the blue in the sky. If you can't find the blue, you could turn the exposure down to see if you can see the blue. But we do know there's blue in that top area. So try and select some blue sky. And you'll be able to see it because it'll tell you the color when you've done it. So click on there. Okay, you've got, now you can see it selected the sky, selected the blue. So what we're saying is that we only want to affect the sky where it's blue. Now we're going to do another intersect to put the gradients on. So what we're saying, like the collection set, we want the sky, we only want to affect the blue, and then apply the mask only to the blue parts of the sky. Does that make sense to you all?
Gary,
Yes?
intersecting with the mask one or color range.
You can, well, I do it on mask one.
Yeah.
Because then it does it to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So now what we need now, Judy, is we're gonna intersect again on mask one. Yeah, go to the right, 3 dots,
Yeah, okay.
click on there, and we're going to intersect mask with, and we're going to do a linear gradient.
All right.
On
Oh,
that. Can you see it keep coming down? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now you're going to click at the top of the image and draw a line down, click and drag down to the horizon. So click at the top and drag down. Click, drag. That's it, and go down to the horizon. There you go. Now you're a bit wonky. Okay, that's it, bring it down.
Oh dear, it's still
Yeah,
monkey.
yeah. What you're doing is, Judy, I can't see your center dot. Oh, you put the dot there. I can see it. Let me just take over a minute, Judy. I'm just pull this dot into the middle. There's the dot in the middle. Oh, I can't quite get it. I can't pick it up on the internet. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to move this mask in for you. Let me just get rid of that mask. 1 second. You put it over to one side.
Hmm.
I'm going to put it back in the middle. So I'm going to go again. I'm going to intersect mask with a linear gradient, and I'm going to start in the middle and drag down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, missed it. Intersect mask with linear gradient. And now I'm going to draw down. And then I'm going to make sure that that's level. If you come away from the dot, Judy, you can rotate it a lot easier. Look, can you see?
Yeah.
You were trying to rotate it. It's quite difficult when you got that where you've got it. Okay, so now then, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the exposure down. So turn the exposure down. So in your right-hand panel, you can select your exposure and drag it back a bit till you get what you feel is enough. I think that's not far off. You can probably go a tad more if you wish. Say 1 and 1 point, so it's mine is 1.3. That's 1 1/3 stop. I think that's quite nice.
Yeah.
You all agree?
Yeah.
Now notice that it's not darkened off the white cloud. If we hadn't got the linear gradient and color range and sky, if we hadn't chose the blue, it would have darkened the cloud as well, wouldn't it? Which is exactly what you would do if you put a physical filter on your camera. So what you're doing is you've got the best of both worlds. You've got like a magical filter you put on the camera that says only work in the blue sky. Now you can do that in black and white and infrared, can't we? Because we can actually cut off wavelengths, but when we show in color, we have to separate it with RGB. So now then, are you all happy with that, Ron? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we can go back to the button where the masks are on the right-hand side and click on it to close that panel off. So where adjustable weights and invert. Now keep going to the right, Judy. Keep going down, down, keep going down and to the right. Keep going till you get the 5 main buttons. Keep going to your right.
Right. Oh.
Or the right. That round circle above weights and invert.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you click on there, it'll switch it off. Yeah, so the mask's there, but the panel's not active. So the only other thing is that we've noticed, like Margaret said last week, that the sun on the left-hand side is a bit, well, it's a bit bright, isn't it, still? So we could try and find where they are. And it could be that they are in the whites. So we back the whites off. If I grab Judy's white slider. But it affects everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But is that the effect that we prefer, though, Judy, do you think? Or Ron or Margaret? Anybody comment? Or is that too muddy a sky? Would you prefer to see it a lot brighter like that? Something like that?
Mm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now then. Go on. You were saying, Margaret?
Just a bit lighter.
Just a bit lighter. Okay, let's go a bit lighter. I mean, you've almost gone back to 0. So there you go. White's a bit higher. Yeah. Okay. Now then, just having a look on there. White shadows. Yeah, I'm just looking where the highlights. So I'll just turn the highlights up a little bit. There we go. So then, what else is part of that picture is the green elements. Now we could actually say that that sky. Do you want it any bluer, Ron?
Well, as we said last week, the whole sky needs replacing.
We did, because we said that we thought, you know what, we ought to replace the whole sky, didn't we? So Brian wasn't here last week, but I don't know whether you told him that also. So we could replace the sky. So before we go into the Photoshop to do sky replacement, what about, if we're going to do that, we've got this lens blur active, we might want to change it. What if we did it all in the normal method of Photoshop? We go into Photoshop now, we come back and go, oh, but it's too blurred. I don't want it as blurred as that. How can we keep all the Lightroom active while we're in Photoshop?
Smart object.
Yeah, so we're going to go up and edit photo. So go up to the top of your menu, Judy, at the top of the screen.
Up here.
Yeah, you're going to go to the top of your screen where it's and you should be able to bump that and it should say
Photo editing.
Yeah. Now get the menu showing, Judy, top of your screen.
I can't move that.
Move your cursor right to the top of the screen and to the top left where the menu bar is at the top of your screen. No, right at the top of the very screen. You're going to go into Photoshop. Keep going to the right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, here.
No, keep going. Go right over to the left where it says image DNG 216. Keep going to the left.
Oh, that.
Now go to the top of the screen from there. Keep going up. Keep going up. Get your there you go. Photo.
Right. Yeah, photo.
Yeah, click on that. Editing.
Editing.
Yeah, and then we're going to open a smart object in Photoshop. And what that will do is it will keep the ability that if we go back into Photoshop, bear in mind when we come back into Lightroom, if we want to change the blur, we can't, because why is that? If I go into Photoshop now, which we're going to do, and Julie's going to flick onto Photoshop soon. If I come back into Lightroom, I can't go back and change the lens blur in Lightroom, but I can. I've taken all the Lightroom changes you've made into Photoshop. So let's have a look what Julie's got here. I'm just looking what's happening to Julie's screen. So we've got two lots of Photoshop open. I'm going to close that one off. So there we are. Now Julie's lost all her control panels in here. So let's go to Window. And I'm going to reset your screen, Julie. Come on, Window. Oh dear, I don't know what's happening to your computer, Julie, but I can't. I'm trying to get Window to, it's just come up. Oh, it's trying to open both of them. Ah, right, okay. We don't want them both. You've got two lots of Photoshop open.
Right.
So I think that's where did you open this as a smart object? I'm trying to find out. You've opened it twice.
All right. I don't think I did.
Dear. I'm going to close this off, Judy. There's something very strange happening here. 1 second. Can you bump me the bottom of the screen and get your light? I've got it. So it's saying that Photoshop's still open. Look, can you see? So you've got two versions of Photoshop open. Okay. Can you just close me Photoshop, Judy, please? There you go.
Done it?
Yep. Now we go back to Lightroom again. We go into Ron's picture, which was it that one? I've lost your screen, Judy.
Oh, shall I click on Lightroom?
Oh, it's coming back. I've got it back. Yeah, click. Photoshop's still open. I'm just going to close it again.
All right.
Oh my goodness. What is happening? Just close. I'm trying to bump you the menu at the bottom. I can't do that on internet. So just, right, click on Photoshop. Yeah. And then close Photoshop for me, because you've got two open. I can't change. No, you have to do Photoshop and close it. I can't, because I've got my recording panel across the top and I can't move it when it's working. Yeah. Quit Photoshop. Good. Make sure that closes. Right, now go back down to Lightroom again for me. You can do Command and Tab all that way, yeah. So now Photoshop's not open, that's correct. Yeah, click on that. And then you're going to go up to Photo, Edit, Smart Object. Top of your screen again.
Yeah.
Go to the top of your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the menu bar. Keep going up till you get the menus. Yeah, keep going. There you go. Photo. Yeah. Edit in. And then open a smart object.
All the panels open, but
Yeah.
Now then, okay, yeah, it's already running. Yeah, it's opening. Yeah, do that. Opening Photoshop Beta. I think I need to check your settings, but okay. There we go. Let's wait for it to catch up.
Window,
Range.
workspace.
Yeah, Windows Workspace. I've not got Judy's thing working at all yet. Judy, just do that and close that off for me, please.
Is it
This?
Photoshop, yeah, go to the top left corner and close me Photoshop.
reset class essentials?
Yeah, quit that.
Yeah.
when that goes off. Right, now go back to Lightroom again for me.
Oh, there's a little arrow.
Right, I'm just checking nothing else is open. Right, now try edit photo in.
Oh, it's gone.
Well, I've just moved that. So to putting that back.
Bump your screen again, Judy. I can't bump your screen. Go to edit photo at the top. No, at the top.
At the top.
Yeah, menu, photo, photo. Keep going. Right,
Oh, there, photo, yeah.
Yeah. photo, editing, smart object. Okay, you got it. Ah, okay. Oh dear. Why is it still running? You've closed it.
That line.
Cancel that for me, Judy, please. Right, top left-hand corner. Open up where it says Lightroom, and let's change the preferences.
Yeah.
No, further up, bump your menu at the top.
Oh.
Right. And then preferences.
Got those.
There.
Yeah, I'm going to just change that for you. You see, it's saying it's opening in Photoshop 2024. Yeah, okay. So you are set up right, but for some reason your Photoshop beta, your beta version is not closed. So bump me the little apple symbol in the top left-hand corner, please. Big little apple sign. Yeah, force quit. Scroll down. It's going to that. It's not open. It's not open. That is ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, come on. Photo, editing, smart object. This time I'm going to tell it to get lost. Let's see now if it opens up your Photoshop. What the hell is happening to your computer?
Oh, God.
It's not open, it's closed.
Right.
Can you open me? Just do it again for me, Judy, please.
What want me to do?
Photo, edit, smart object. So go to photo, editing.
Yeah.
No, keep going to the right. No. You're not on photo yet. Photo to the right. Keep going.
Photo.
Yeah, editing.
Oh, editing.
Yeah, and then smart object.
That came.
Yeah, open in Photoshop beta. Let's see if it'll work in there. It said it's open, but it's not because we've just checked it. Oh, Adobe.
Like,
It's opening. You see, it wasn't open because it's opening.
yeah.
How ridiculous.
Tony, do you want any replacement skies? No, thank you. No. Margaret?
Hmm?
You want skies?
No, I've got my own.
Okay, we've got a picture at last. Wowza.
In.
We're not going to update it now. I haven't got time. So let's make it.
Brian?
All that.
You sky replacements?
I'm all right at the moment.
There we go. Okay, so we're going to do replace sky. How do we replace sky on this? Sorry?
What?
How do you replace sky on here? Anybody?
No, edit. In Photoshop, edit, sky replacement.
Ah.
Select.
Yeah, keep going.
Sky replacement.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah,
Keep
edit,
looking.
edit sky replacement.
Already got it. Got this sky. I like it.
There it is. Well done, Margaret. I thought you'd all forgot where it was. Okay, sky replacement. Off you go then. Click on that. Okay, you might need to move it. Now it's going to analyze the sky for you. And then Ron's going to tell us which sky he'd like. So, Ron. So we can hit on the box on sky, and they've got blue skies And don't forget these disclosure triangles, you can close them all off and open them up. So do you want a sunset, Ron, a blue sky, or spectacular?
I've already selected a sky.
Which one is it? And tell us.
It's none of them, it's something I've been downloading myself.
Oh, you naughty boy. Okay then, does somebody else want to select a sky that we can all use the same? Is that one? That works, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so it's the second one down in the blue skies.
Lost it.
It matches because you got a dappled sort of light. It's not a really strong sunlight.
Skies should be down there somewhere.
Find it.
nicer.
Okay, you got one?
Yeah.
Are we going to run with that one?
Computer's a bit.
I do. I'm sure you don't.
So we do double click on it. Oh, we're going to cancel. Wait a minute.
Is it grayed out? For sure.
I think so.
It is edit select
Oh,
sky,
Oh, it's
isn't it?
just greyed out. Sky replacement.
Sky,
it's
it is there.
greyed out.
It's, oh,
1
sky
minute.
replacement is grayed out on,
Right.
I've got
Brian.
it. Okay, make sure in the layers panel it's got the layer selected. It's not switched off.
Click on your layer.
Now try it.
Still not
Still
highlighted.
not. Still not.
Still not highlighted.
Okay, I'm going to select this for Judy. So when you do this, we're going to just say, okay,
He can't,
Judy.
he can't
No,
select his layer.
Should do that.
I'm going to come and have a look for him 1 second. We're going to do share his screen.
He's done it.
On it.
And if you click on that little arrow there,
He's done it.
Done it.
then
Mm,
we picked that one, the second one.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's where we are now.
Okay, then Judy, share screen again.
There you go. Let's change it. Just like
You keep,
Forgotten where I go.
Share screen and zoom.
keep
Okay.
that select sky up because you've got adjustments and that to make on it.
Do you mean-
Find it
so-
again. Find it again. Select sky.
You got zoom now.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it.
Share screen. That's it.
Come on.
I'll just leave it.
Keep that one up. Yeah.
Alcatraz prisoner 074392. Stop falling asleep. You got it, Judy?
The option to share screen hasn't come up.
Okay, let's share Brian's screen. Let's work with Brian for a minute then. Go back to Lightroom, to your Photoshop, Judy, so we can work from there. So Brian's going to share his screen. And I'll work, unless Alcatraz prisoner or Teresa, because she's nodded off. Somebody share the screen, I can work with you. Anybody sharing the screen? Anybody? Oh, we got one. Brian's got it. Okay, well done, Brian. Good. So now Brian's got that, you can click on, you've done click OK, Brian. So, you've got several groups. So, OK to that, click OK. Yeah. Yeah, what's happened is you've selected it twice, but I'm not worried. I'm going to come down to request control. And I'm going to put that one in the bin. We don't want two.
Which one?
Yeah. Just going to get rid of that one, Brian. I'm going to put it in the bin.
Yeah.
There you go. You got one. There you go. So Brian's got nice sky. What's the problem we have now with that sky?
We've got
That's
those.
focus.
It's in focus. You see, I tricked you here. I thought I'm going to just see what they do. If you add anything after you've done a lens blur, and this is why I'm doing the class on lens blur, your lens blur, if you do it like replace the sky, it won't blur the sky because it doesn't know. How about that? So is there any way we can get around it?
Thank you. Yes.
No, there is. I believe we can get around this because we can switch the lens blur off and put it again on in Photoshop, hopefully. So we could do that. But you can see what happens if you come from Lightroom to Photoshop and you do a pixel change afterwards. Because remember, when you're in Lightroom, you're working on not on the original. When you go to Photoshop, what does it do? What does it do to the image? We create a new image, don't we?
Yeah.
So we look at our original, we look at all the changes, and we create a new file, which is either a what? Which two file methods can we use?
TIFF.
TIFF or a PSD. Correct. Well done. So now we're in Photoshop with a completely new picture. And if I switch off sky replacement, the sky's blurred. But now we've replaced the sky with a sky that's in focus. Yeah. So what I was trying to emphasize to you is, and we're going to do Ron's picture more next week, is that there is a workflow method that if you're using lens blur and you go into Photoshop and you change the sky or big pixel change, it will overwrite what you've done in Lightroom, because you're now working with pixels. You're not working with representation of the original with the effects on. You've made a brand new file. So you've fixed all those blurred pixels in the sky, and you've said replace the sky, and you replaced it with the sky which is blurred. What simple, quick way could you get around this now?
Gradient.
Yeah, but now remember, look, if I switch this bottom layer off, what we're left with? We've left with just the sky. Is that correct? Remember, in Photoshop, these are layers. So if I leave it as a group, we have the bottom layer, which is our picture. We've just put a new sky on, which has created a new layer. Yeah, which is that one. And when they merge together, that's what it looks like. So a quick and easy way would be is we could just blur this group, which is these sections here. So how do we put a filter on here? So go to filter. So everybody go to filter. Filter, top of the screen, Judy. Oh, Brian, sorry, I'm Brian's. Brian, go to the word filter at the top of your screen. That's it. Now, sorry, Brian, I've left you on the group. I'm going to put you onto there. Okay. So now we're going to blur. So we're going to come down to blur.
Blur.
You can put Gaussian blur. Okay, and hopefully in a moment. Hold on, no, you haven't finished it yet, Brian. You have to tell it how much. So go back to filter, blur, come down to blur, Gaussian blur.
Yeah.
Now then, you've got radius there. Look, 1 pixel. So you can turn that up. You can blur that even more. Go all the way to your right, and the more you turn it, the more it'll blur it. Go on then, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop there. Now then, wind it. Oh, it says it's caught up now. Just back it up a bit more. I think it's Brian's computer that's running a bit slow. I'd go for about 50, Brian.
50.
Yeah, try 50. See what that's like. I think that's far off. You can add a bit more.
Blurry.
Oh, it's very blurry. Yeah, you can back it off. You're trying to match the blur on the horizon, aren't you? Okay. Yeah,
40.
good.
40.
40 is good. Margaret says 40 is good. I'm happy with 40. Okay, and then click OK. Now, the only thing I have found is when you do some of these sky replacements, when you come to put anything on, additional filters, it doesn't always see it. And it's just an issue in the software, unfortunately. But you'll notice that on the edge lighting group here, in the layer panel, there, there is an element of blurring added at that point anyway, but it's not enough. So next week, we're going to do two versions of this picture. We're going to do a blurry version, and then I'm going to show you how to do it within from Lightroom to Photoshop, and then carry on where you're working off. But it's not easy. And we'll also look at two different methods of this. We're going to do the toy time filter, which you've almost got now anyway. And then we'll go back to the proper photograph we're on, and we can put the sky on of your choice and make it look really nice. But the reason why we're doing this, I wouldn't have done this because I think you've got a lovely picture anyway, but I wanted to show you how lens blurs work and the problems with lens blur if you bring it in and change the sky. Because we knew we were doing this last week, and I thought they're not realised that if you take that image into Photoshop and create a new image, which you do with the TIFF, and you replace the sky, then guess what? It's going to be in focus. So I was just trying to show you the pitfalls. You've got to think about the workflow. So next week, we're going to work on this picture. We're going to make the sky look nice. We're going to work on the greens. We're going to work on the mud. We're going to put some ideas and textures in, and we're going to change the boat colour. And then we're going to put a boat name on the very end of the boat. So you're all going to put your name on there with the displacement map. Okay? So it'll say Ron's boat or Ron Newark-on-Trent, whatever. Okay? So we'll have a difference of those. So there you go. So you've caught up, Brian. You happy? You okay with that?
Yep.
Good, good, good.